the British Prime Minister Theresa May will travel to Berlin and Paris today. There she'll be meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel and, of course, the French President Emmanuel Macron. The meetings are ahead of a crucial European Union summit that will decide whether or not to delay Britain's exit from the EU. Brexit is set to happen on Friday, but May is looking to get it postponed to the 30th of June. That's as she and UK MPs fail to agree on the deal she's made with the EU. Our reporter and colleague Nickolaus Bauer is joining us now from Berlin in Germany via Skype. Nickolaus, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Yeah, to say it's interesting times indeed for Theresa May could be an understatement as she tries to get the EU to support an extension to the 30th of June, while back home she really has no backing for a Brexit deal.
Oh, indeed, Bradan. The fact of the matter is that it was in France on the 11th hour of the 11th day in the 11th month that the First World War came to an end, but it can be argued now that with regards to Theresa May and her Brexit deal, it's well past midnight. The deadline to leave the European Union is this Friday by the House of Commons, the British Parliament. And now Theresa May is coming to Berlin and Paris today to try and drum up some sort of support from her allies within the European Union to get a further extension. To say that this is a move of desperation by Theresa May would be an absolute understatement. The British Prime Minister has offered up her resignation, albeit on the proviso that her deal that has been voted down 3 times by the British House of Commons gets the go-ahead from British MPs. We must also remind ourselves, Radan, they voted down 7 other options to provide some sort of legal framework to leave the EU, and it's simply it's quite simply astonishing to see. I mean, it's unprecedented in European Union history, and the fact of the matter is a lot of questions are now being asked as to whether or not the UK will even end up leaving the EU. There's now rumblings of the European Union maybe trying to suggest to the British Prime Minister to go back and not only try and drum up support for her deal, but also consider other options being possibly putting this to another vote. So anything's on the table at this point in time, Bradan, but there is a certain amount of listlessness. There's a certain amount of the European people, as well as the UK people of the UK, are growing tired of this. They want some sort of finality to a Brexit deal, and in a move that started over or approaching 2 years ago.
Yeah, and of course that summit in Brussels taking place tomorrow. One wonders whether there'll be some appetite at all within the EU to consider Theresa May's new suggestions, whatever those might be.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the EU is stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's not going to be beneficial for the UK or the European Union, either one of the two, to have no deal when the United Kingdom leaves the European Union. That is a mere fact. And the word amongst diplomats, the word amongst political reporters here in Berlin is that the German Chancellor Angela Merkel is in favor of another extension, but there's going to be some severe pushback from the French President Emmanuel Macron. So it remains to be seen whether or not these 2 trips to Germany and France today bear fruit for the UK Prime Minister Theresa May. The fact of the matter is, patience is growing thin, not only in the United Kingdom, but also in the European Union. And the argument is that if the European Union does not see the United Kingdom suffer as a result of leaving the trading and political bloc, it could give rise to more members considering their membership within the EU itself. So in one breath, the European Union has said on many occasions, led by the voice of Angela Merkel, that they want to see an orderly exit of the European Union by the UK. But on the other hand, they can't allow this to be too easy of a ride for Theresa May and the United Kingdom, lest they begin a further running to the exit door by other European Union members. But the scene is set now for further negotiations. Theresa May on a whistle-stop tour to Berlin and then on to Paris. Let's see whether or not Angela Merkel can convince Emmanuel Macron to grant the British a further extension, because it's absolutely uncharted territory, Bradan. If they don't get a deal, if they don't get some sort of legal framework, or if they don't get an extension, the European Union is going to eject the United Kingdom this coming Friday, the 12th of April, as part of their deadline, as part of the Brexit, that Article 50 that was enacted 2 years ago. It's come down to this.
Thank you very much, Nickolaus Bauer. They're reporting live to us from Berlin in Germany, ahead of that EU meeting on the Brexit.